Hello everyone. I'm sorry I'm a little late because of my connection. My internet is not very good today. I don't know why, what happened, but it's coming. I post my pattern for our motif on the computer for me, and so that I can read from there, and so now it's not going to open for some unknown reason. So anyway, it's opened now. I'm glad you joined. I have 6 people already now. Say hello, where are you from? Nice to have you all. So today's lesson is from our masterpieces of Irish crochet lace. And we're going to crochet a motif that is called fan from page 13, this motif. So I will take book away. Hello, Mervat. Hello, Rick. Who else is here? Hello, Lynn. So we have Australia, Saudi Arabia, and Netherlands. Probably more countries. So please say something when you come in, when you join. Can you hear me okay? Is everything okay on your side? Because I'm still trying to make sure that I can start my lesson. Because I can look at my computer, it's kind of slow everything, but I'm wondering how it is on my phone, because all my videos I'm doing through the telephone. Sounds good, okay. Hello, Kelly. And handcraft art, but I don't know the name. But handcraft, hello. Okay. So now we can start our lesson. Hi, Lori from Colorado, my neighbor. Kansas and Colorado were neighboring states. Okay, ladies, so today we're going to make this very beautiful motif. It's very easy to make. There are a few tricks that I always create for my for my own self, but those little details in crochet are very important when you make motifs. And mainly it's how to deal with padding cord, with ends of padding cord, with thread, and so on. This motif is easy, but there are a few... Hello, Lynette from UK. Nice to have you here. So this motif is very easy to make, but there are a few things that I would like to show you as we will crochet that are not explained in a book. How to crochet it neat, nice, and what to do with the ends. Okay, you're from Egypt, and what is your name? Handcraft from Egypt. Yeah, well, my Facebook group and on YouTube, it's amazing how many people from different countries in the globe can join you. Amazing, right? Okay, so why don't I just grab the thread and the hook and we will crochet together. So I will put those aside. I will use 4 padding cord, crochet thread number 3. It's thickest thread than crochet thread number 10. And you can purchase this from Aunt Lydia I think at Joanne and Hobby Lobby have those. If you live in different countries, sorry, I cannot advise you where to get the thread, but you should know the sizes. Size 3 is a thick thread, size 5 is a little bit finer, and size 10 also not as thick. But this thread can be used for padding cord. So this is what I will use for padding cord. And Lydia's number 3. Also, I will crochet with Lizbeth thread number 20. So if you are learning, when you start, this size of thread is perfect. But crocheting with this thread number 20 is, it will not give you that fine lace. So, but for, you know, for different reasons, people use thicker thread. So you can also use this thread for your lace. So today, motif from page 13 for those who just joined from Masterpieces of Irish Crochet Lace. To start, Knittingberg Academy, hello. To start, we have to crochet first a center. We start our crochet from here, and then we will crochet this fan, going back and forth and turning our work every row we go, or I call it half row. And also at the end we will decorate our crochet with padding cord on the edges and create those little beautiful scallops, and finish our work decorating the center of the fan, also with padding cord and making those scallops. But first we will create the centerpiece. We will need triple cord. So 1, 2, 3. So on a triple cord, crochet 20 single crochet stitches. So I will add my thread. And you already know that when I crochet, I always crochet over the short piece of thread. That way I don't have to weave it in later. So I save my time doing that always. So I will add my thread by making slip stitch. This is my first step. So after making slip stitch, secured our thread and padding cord together. Now we crochet 20 single crochet stitches over the padding cord, over the string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I will make my padding cord or my ring triple cord a little bit smaller because I know I will need it smaller. I will right away make it smaller because it's easier to crochet. It has to be, you can use, I used my finger if you saw, to wrap thread around, but you can take a pen, a Sharpie, a pencil, to wrap your thread around it. Also, you probably noticed the way I crochet around the padding cord in the round. Normally, we crochet, when we will crochet around, you would naturally go like this, right? But I do this, grab thread this way. And the reason I do that my stitches on the back will lay evenly without showing padding cord on the back. So I have 6, 7, like this, you see? 8. I go this way. 9, 10, 11, 12. Of course, you don't have to do what I do. You can crochet just like we normally do, like this, grabbing hook in a normal way. But then you see already I have a gap right here, this first one. And actually I will have to physically move my stitch and stitches on the back if I will crochet this way. So the crocheting the way I showed you, the way I do this, I don't have to worry about moving anything. All stitches lay together neatly and you don't see the padding cord. So, and fun part, I forgot how many I made. So forgive me, I have to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. This is what happens when you talk and crochet. So talking and crochet does not work together. You can listen to someone but not talk. So 13, 14, 15, 16. So 16, and of course I know 4 more stitches and I have my 20 stitches. So this is too big. Again I can go and make my ring smaller by pulling on both sides of ends of the cord, on this one and on this one at a time, a little bit on one cord and a little bit on this one. Just like this. This short tail from the thread, it's our working thread. You can already cut it off. I normally cut it off at the very end, but right now I'm almost at the end, so I will take it off so I don't have to deal with that little short tail. It will not be on the way. So I have 16, I need 20, so 4 more stitches and our ring is finished. So 17, 18, 19, and 20. And at the end, finish the round after 20 stitches with a slip stitch. Slip stitch, like that. After that, we will not need this padding cord for a long time. And to use the same padding cord will not be possible. Will be very messy and not pretty. So I would advise you also just take this end and cut it off. If you still have a little gap, you can always adjust your padding cord by pulling on both ends to make sure that there's no gap between the last stitch and the first stitch. It's very important not to have it. This will make your work neat. And I will cut thread off, that padding cord thread off. We don't need this anymore. So the ring is done. And the next step, we will crochet the this part of the motif, and we will, each row we will turn our motif. So first we will make, to start, a single crochet stitch into the next stitch. So where we make slip stitch, right? So in the next stitch, make single crochet like this. And now we will start our first half round. So it's not the whole round, we're not going on a round, but it's just on the half of the centerpiece or half round. We will make our first half round or row. Call it whatever you would like. So first, chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then single crochet stitch into the next stitch of the ring, right here. And we have to repeat this pattern, chain 3, single crochet, 7 times. So first time we have, this is 1, then 1, 2, 3, again into the next stitch of the ring, single crochet. I will try to keep my hands up so that you can see. And repeat 1, 2, 3, chain 3, single crochet stitch into the next stitch of the ring. 1, 2, 3. Again, single crochet. 1, 2, 3, and again single crochet stitch. And we need 7 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 more. 1, 2, and 3. Single crochet and 1 more. Single crochet. I know it's possible to be distracted or think about something, and then even you count it once. It's always nice and smart idea to count one more time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 little loops. So after that we will crochet next half round or row. We'll have to turn our work and make chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Chain 5. After that, single crochet stitch into the first loop of the previous row. Single crochet. And after this, 6 more times, repeat by making chain of 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet stitch into the next loop. So we will crochet single crochet stitches again, but this time we crochet them in the loops of the previous round, a half round, and creating those small chains. Chain 3. First chain is longer because we need height for our fan, right? And then we need loops. So first 2 stitches of chain 5, it was our height of the row, second row. Now, when you have this problem, like your chain, your thread is turning, twisting, all you can do is just stretch your stitch and let your thread motif hang for a while and let your thread untwist itself. So, okay, let's come back. So we need to make 6 times chain 3 single crochet into each loop of previous row. Let's continue. 1, 2, 3, single crochet stitch into the loop of the previous row. Again, 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the previous row. And crochet this way to the end. You will need to have 6 of those loops. And I'm at the end, my last chain 3 single crochet. And of course, just to make sure that you have 6 of those small loops. We don't count first loop because it's 5, but we need 6 loops of 3 stitches. Chain 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, we turn our work and chain 4. This time we chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And of course, you probably already figured out and guessed, and probably some of you already made this motif. We're making single crochet stitch into the first loop of the previous row. Single crochet. After that, we repeat 6 times, but this time we crochet chain 2 and single crochet stitches into the loops before. 1, 2, 1, 2, and single crochet. 1, 2, and single crochet. So it's basically, as you can see, the pattern is very easy. It's repetitive and easy to remember and easy to crochet. So we need to have those small loops of 2, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, turn your work and chain 1 at the end. This time we will have to add padding cord. And in the book, they use padding cord one single cord. The problem for me is always how to deal with this. I don't like to cut thread this way. I like to crochet over double cord because you have at the beginning the loop and you will never lose this. At the end, you also can make it in such a way, crochet your padding cord or crochet over the pieces of padding cord that you will never lose it. So what I will do, I will fold it here in half, and into the first loop we will have to crochet I'm trying to see 3 single crochet stitches into each loop that we have. I'm trying to check my written instructions. Okay. So I will go into first before I will introduce this. I can't do it right now, but it's easier and better. You will not see padding cord if you will insert your hook into under the arch, then pick up padding cord and make your first single crochet stitch. We need 3 single crochet stitches into this chains of 2, the arches that we made. It's not very easy for you to see my work because arches are small. So I have 1, now 2 more. So first few stitches I will crochet over double crochet padding cord. I just show you later. I will show you how I deal with that piece. So I'll make 1 more and make sure that your padding cord is not shown anywhere. So right away I will advise you to pull a little bit. My padding cord is cut between stitches sometimes, so it's not seen anywhere, and you can continue. And I will crochet a few more stitches over double cord here. I crochet really tight those few stitches because I don't want the anyone to see that I used double cord at the beginning and then single. 1, 2, and 3. So now I will cut short tail. I don't need this anymore. But before I cut that piece, I'll pull on it just slightly, make sure there's nowhere, no traces of padding cord on the back. So I will cut this piece. I know it's probably weird, but let me tell you that if I need to pull on a padding cord, I will not be able to pull very well if it's not going to be secured here at the very beginning. So I made first 6 stitches over the double padding cord. I fold it in half and then short piece, I cut it off. And now I'm free to crochet the rest. So our next row, this row, it's row, what row we on? I missed the count. Row 4. So we are making over the padding cord 3 single crochet stitches into around those chain of 2, those small pieces right here, those small loops. You see them, right? So 3 single crochet stitches around the loops and padding cord at the same time. One, two, and three. So as you can see, once in a while I just go and see how my stitches look like, how the padding cord behave. You can pull on it, and then if it's too much, you can stretch it slightly to make your stitches look neat. Of course, Lizbeth's thread is not my favorite thread, and I don't always like how stitches are turning with that thread. This thread is too mercerized for me. I like softness in my lace. And so at the very end, last loop, and at the end they actually want us to make 2 single crochet stitches. So when you come to the last loop, make only 2 single crochet stitches. Now make sure that your fan, this part, is not looking like ruffle. Make sure it's flat when you look at this, so it's not like wavy. As soon as it gives you a wave, that means you are too loose in your stitches. And that wave can be removed by pulling on a padding cord slightly to make it flat. So this 4th row is done. After this, chain 1 at the end. So we made last stitches, 2 single crochet stitches into the last loop, then chain 1 and turn your work. And continue over the padding cord 20 single crochet stitches. We crochet into each stitch, inserting the hook into the both loops. So I'm not counting actually, but I should count. So few stitches, and if you notice, I left this a little bit bigger. It was easy to crochet, but I can remove this padding cord by pulling on it so that it will not show itself anywhere here. But don't put too much. We will need this padding cord here as a stitch, and you will see why later when we will decorate the piece, that motif. So let me see how many stitches I made so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we need 20 stitches here. So the next 5th row of the padding cord into both loops. Make sure your tension is the same throughout your work. Okay, I think I pick up only one. Yeah. And make sure you pick up 2 stitches, 2 loops of each stitch when you insert your hook into row 4. I purposely crochet slowly because I wanted to see how I deal with my padding cord. Sometimes it's nice to see how others are doing it. Probably it will help you to see how to do this neat, that your work look beautiful. And if you pull too much in a padding cord when you were adjusting, you can always stretch your stitches and make sure it's not wavy, that you have flat motif. And again, I didn't count. I lost the count of my stitches, but I can guarantee you there will be only 20 stitches there. The way we were making this and adding stitches to the each row when we were crocheting, there will not be more. But of course, I prefer to check if I was right, if everything I was doing is exact number of stitches. It's very important. Sometimes 1-2 stitches will not play a big difference, but sometimes it will. In this motif, you have to be precise in the amount of your stitches. Otherwise, it will not work later when you will make scallops. You will mess it up. And this is not something we want, right? So since I was talking, I did not count my stitches. So now I will drop my thread. And I always count from the back. It's always easier. You count those little bumps right here, those ones. It's easy to know how many stitches you made. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So okay, I have my 20 stitches over the padding cord. And so you can, I will do something, don't be mad at me. I will unravel a few stitches to show you something else you can do. So what you can do here, you can cut this padding cord off because we will not need it for a while. I personally, yes, Lynette, I used blue padding cord under this motif. I found a thread. The motif here is made with petal cotton. I don't remember the color. I will give it to you. I will find in a minute. I will take the color, let you know. And I found the thread number 5 so that I could use exactly the same color. It's DMC thread, petal cotton. So crochet for working thread, I used petal cotton number 8, hook 0.75 millimeters. And for padding cord, the same color thread in number 5. It was thread for embroidery, so I used that one. And before I go further, I can give you the color of this thread. Here it is. It's DMC thread petal cotton, and here's the number of it. Number of the color 995. And the same color in thread number 5. So exactly the same number, color, and it was what I used. Of course, I used here double. I took double cord to have thicker padding cord. I like thickness in padding cord more than just single. I actually never use a single cord in my work. So we have 20 stitches, and after that we can or cut padding cord or do what I will show you how I deal it with that. So I will undo 5 stitches, I would say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I will take 6. So instead of cutting padding cord, what I do, this is my personal preferences, I like it more. So I will fold my padding cord and crochet at the end of a double, just like I did at the beginning. It's probably kind of silly to do it this way, you would say. Probably it's better just to take double, but still with double, even with double crochet, you will want to finish this way. Fold it in half at the end and 6 or 5 stitches crochet really tight at the end. And last stitch, watch what I will do with last stitch. So insert hook into your last stitch, then you can pull on a padding cord slightly to make that loop smaller, and insert your hook into this loop too, into that loop of the padding cord, and crochet and finish your single crochet, your last single crochet. After that, only after that, you can pull on a padding cord to rid of that loop there. And now you can cut this end. And since I crochet tight, this padding cord will not go anywhere. It's the same as if I will sew over this padding cord to make sure that my work look nice and neat. If I will crochet over the padding cord the way book tells us, single cord, with time what happen at the ends, padding cord can kind of loosen up, and if you wash it, it will shrink or whatever will happen. What I had, this is how I discovered it. So something will happen to the padding cord at the end, and those stitches become loose, and your work look kind of sloppy and not beautiful anymore. I don't like it, so it's why I always hide my padding cord very precisely. Crochet over this a few stitches or weave it in, but instead of weaving in, this is what I like to do: crochet over the double cord few stitches, and then at the beginning and at the end. And this will just save me headache later, how my lace will look like, and the quality of my lace. And it's important, for example, if you decide to crochet for someone Irish crochet lace and to sell it, of course, you know, everything you make, it's quality. And if you might take, especially if you take money for that, it's not acceptable to send something to someone, take money for that, and then that work look will unravel or something will happen to it. So it's very, but even if it's not selling, even for yourself, you want it to be finished perfectly. And sorry, I'm Mrs. Perfection. I'm always working on every stitch like crazy. This is important for me. So this is our wrong side. We finished crocheting over the padding cord. It was row 5, now row 6. Row 6, turn your work and crochet chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. After that, we again crochet a set or like layer of netting. And for this netting, we will make, so chain 4, and then we make a single crochet into the second stitch. So 1, 2 into the second stitch of the row 6, of the row 5, I'm sorry. And then after that, we crochet chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Then we skip 1 stitch and single crochet into the next stitch. And insert your hook in both loops. And to the end, we will have total of those loops 9. Chain 3, and I'm not talking about the first one. This one was 4. Chain 3, single, skip 1 and single crochet. You repeat this, you make it 9 times. So 1, then again chain 3, skip 1, single crochet into the next. It's 2 times. Again chain 3, skip 1, single crochet into the next stitch. Will be 3. And so you can count. That will be 4, 5, 6, then 7, 8, and the last chain 3, skip 1 and into the next last stitch, single crochet. This will be our 9th loop. So 9 of those little loops of chains made of chain 3. This is how it look like. Again, turn your work and crochet chain 5. 1, 2, oops. It's easier for me actually to crochet those chain 5 from this side before I turn 4, 5. Don't know why. After that, we make 1 single crochet into the first loop. So chain 5 and single crochet into the first loop. After that, we will crochet 9 times. Again, chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and single crochet into the next loop. 9 times we repeat the same pattern, chain 3 and single crochet into the next loop. So 1 time, and again chain 3, I'm not sure it was 3, 1, 2, 3, and single crochet into the next loop, 2, and again 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the next loop, will be 3, 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So make sure to count, make sure you have everything, you didn't miss anything, that all your stitches are made in the loops before and you did not miss any loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Again, turn your work and make chain 4 this time. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And of course we will make first single crochet into the first loop of the previous row. It was row 7, now we're on row 8. And row 8 is, we're going to crochet a chain 2, 1, 2, and single crochet into the next loop. And we have to repeat chain 2, single crochet into the loop of a previous row. We have to repeat this 9 times. So 1, 2, single crochet into the next loop. We have 2 more, 7 more, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and last chain 2, and at the end single crochet. So make sure everything is looking neat. Count your loops, that you exactly have 9 of them. And twist your thread if you need. And now we again will add padding cord. So we will crochet 3 single crochet stitches again into each loop of the previous row. And again, you already know how I do this. I will pick up my padding cord. First of all, there will be chain 1 at the beginning or at the end. Then I turn, pick up my padding cord, and as you already know, I fold it in half here. And the first thing I do, I go around the first chain and make my first single crochet stitch just to secure padding cord, and then 2 more stitches into the first. So 3 single crochet stitches, remember, 3 single crochet stitches into each loop of the previous row. So second and third stitch. Make sure that your padding cord is not between stitches anywhere, it didn't cut anywhere. And I like to make 3 more stitches over the double cord, and I will cut it off. One, 2, and 3. And now I can cut this short tail. Don't have to drag it with me anymore because it's all secured here. And I can continue crochet over the single cord this time, just like it says in the book. But right here it will give me a nice, neat looking edge when I do it this way. And like I told you before, it does not matter. You don't have to do what I made. It's just a suggestion and advice that when you do it this way, your work will look neat, and the edges will look nice also. It's very important. And so let's continue. 3 stitches into each loop of the previous row. 1, 2, and 3. And of course, go on the back and check how your padding cord behave. First I pull on it a little bit, make it tighter, and then I'm looking for the good shape of my motif, that my motif, you see, will not wavy, will not have the ruffle effect. This is what I call ruffle effect, like this when it's wavy. You want it flat. And continue crochet. Three stitches into the loop of previous row and of the padding cord. And at the end, as you remember, at the end when, as I know, last time we finished with 2 stitches, but here they didn't say anything. So yes, I will make only, trying to think, no, it's 3 stitches there because it was chain 5 there, right? No, it was chain 4, so 2 stitches at the end. One and two. Oh my goodness, look at this, I forgot. No, I didn't, everything is fine. Never mind, didn't forget anything. The only thing that I spliced my thread, which is not good at all. Sometimes this happens. Make sure to fix your thread. If you have this thread damaged, make sure there's no bumps anywhere. Just help with your fingers, your thread. So I have to fix this. So now again, last 2 stitches, last 2 stitches. At the end, chain 1 and turn your work and crochet over the padding cord. Let me pull my padding cord here at the end, fix it slightly. Now we will crochet 30 single crochet stitches. So at the end, chain 1, turn your work and crochet 30 single crochet stitches over the padding cord. Insert hook into both stitches, both loops of each stitch. So let's count here. I want to be precise and don't count later. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And again, that little loop where we turned our row and have a turning padding cord, you will have a slightly loop. Try to pull on it that you will see very little of it, but we can use that loop as a stitch later. So you don't want it to be seen too much, but at the same time not to hide it totally. So I had 7 stitches, right? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and again. So we have at the end, remember how I will finish. So I will crochet probably like 4 more stitches, and then I will fold my padding cord. 1, 2, 3 and 4, and the rest of it I will finish by folding my padding cord in half. But be careful here now where you add. Since I'm on the wrong side, I will fold my padding cord on my side right now, on this side, so that I can cut padding cord here. Watch where you add. And how can you see? We already cut thread here a couple times. I see excess of thread, and so this is how it works. Be very careful what you do where, because you want your work look nice and neat. And again going out and finishing. Make sure you go in the right stitch. Well, I forgot that the last stitch and into the loop itself of the padding cord to make sure it looks nice here. Before I go, I will hide that padding cord like that. And I can cut thread off here. So now everything look neat. Turn your work, and this time we will crochet chain 4, skip 1 stitch of the previous row and single crochet into the second. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. So skip 1 stitch right here. Make sure that you skip in 1 stitch and into the next stitch. 1, 2. Have to go in the right stitch. Single crochet. You probably didn't see my first stitch, but it's there. Quite a tight stitch. After that, we will crochet again a little netting, and this will be chain 3, skip 1 and single crochet into the next stitch of the previous row. So 1, 2, 3, skip 1 stitch, 1 and go into the next one, 1, 2, and make single crochet. We have to make this 14 times. 14 times chain 3, skip 1, single crochet. Skip 1, single crochet. Again chain 3, skip 1, single crochet into the next. You have to make this 14 times. Again chain 3, skip 1, single crochet into the next stitch. Make sure that your single crochet stitches are tight, otherwise it will look sloppy. I'm not counting so that I will not mess your counting. Trying to count also so that I will not miss my arches. And 2 more left for me. So the last arch for me, 1, 2, 3, and I skip 1 and go into the last stitch here. So row 11 or half round, at the very beginning chain 4, single crochet, skip 1 stitch, single crochet into the next, into second, and then repeat 14 times, chain 3, skip 1, single crochet into the next stitch, and all of those need to be 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now we turn our work and repeat chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, single crochet stitch. Just a second, let me see something. I lost myself in a pattern. Let me see, just a moment. So we made first row 14 times, okay. Then row 12, turn the work. We did chain 5, first single crochet stitch into the first loop. I want to make sure because I don't want to mess up and miss anything. It's very important because the scallops, as I told you, will not work. Then after that we repeat again the same way, and we will have 14 times the same thing as before. We basically repeat row 11. So 1, 2, and 3, and single crochet into the loop. So this is what we'll do to the end of the row. 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the loop. And also we will have 14 of them. 1, 2, and 3 into the loop. 1, 2, 3 again into the loop. 1, 2, and 3 into the loop. This motif will look way better when you will make it with very fine thread. You can even try to make it with beads to modernize it slightly. For those of you who like to crochet with different color, this also will look beautiful. So here's our row 12. And So now in the book there was at the beginning of row 12, they don't really mark rows as by numbers the way we do or the way I'm talking right now. I will actually write in description under this video at the end today. I will post this written instructions or pattern written in the way we would write now in our modern times. So you can find the pattern later in the description of this video, so it will be easier for you to crochet. So now after you made 14 times again those chain 3 single crochet, we will repeat from star. In the book there is a star, and so this is what we did. In the book there was a star to repeat a row 11. That was row 12. So now this is it. We finished, and we can cut thread off. So I will not weave my thread, and I will show you later why. So I will leave it like this. It will just stay here. Actually, I made a mistake somewhere. Oh my, and I cut thread off. How wonderful. I need to make one more row like this. Oh wow. Well, Larissa. Okay, what we will do, I have to save me somehow. I need to make one more. How did I lost that? So repeat from star to star, and I told you and I didn't repeat it. How that happened to me? Okay, let's do this. Don't cut thread like I did. If you did, okay, blame me. Okay, what I will do now, here at this end right there, when I finished I will go in here and I'll pick up my thread. Oh my goodness, my goodness. So I will just pick up thread and I will make again 2, 3, 4, 5. So I needed to repeat row 12 one more time and I didn't. And single crochet into the first arch. I'm sorry, ladies. And repeat this row 12 again, chain 3. But at least you saw how I fixed my mistake, right? Just add thread and continue. There is nothing really so bad happened. Other than I just misled you. That's it. Oh my. So, row 13 was, we make at the end chain 5, single crochet in the first loop of the previous row, and then repeat chain 3, single crochet in a loop, and it will be to the very end of our row. And don't mind those ends, we will hide them as we will crochet over the padding cord. So I hope you are all did not cut thread like I did and do not have to deal with what I deal, but it's not very difficult to fix. So. And after this last row, it will be, this is when we will cut thread off. And we will crochet, decorate our motif with beautiful scallops, and we will crochet over the padding cord again. Okay. And the end. So now we can cut thread off. And this time it's not a mistake. And this is not a mistake this time. So I can cut my thread off. So mistake or not mistake, I will leave those ends and we will deal with them later. Okay, we will crochet with the padding cord. So now make sure you're on the right side of your motif. How you can identify the right side? By looking at these stitches. When they're visible to you like that, this is the right side. This is the wrong side. When you see bumps like that. So on the right side, we will have to add thread and we will have to add padding cord, both. We will crochet over those ends so we don't have to worry and weave them in. And I'll show you how to do this. So pick up thread, our working thread. I would suggest you to weave in this end before we will crochet. So let's pick up a needle. Thread the needle with a thread. I see there are some people joined us. Hello everyone who just joined. Welcome. I look, there's no questions, so I can continue. So before I will crochet the edges right here, both edges, and scallops on the top, I need to start from this point right in here. This is where I have to put my needle, start my first stitch. So right behind that stitch where I have to start, turn it on the wrong side, and here insert your thread into the bottom or into that center and weave in thread just a little bit inside that round center of your motif. Just at least make one round when you weave in so that your thread will not come out. And it's very important because you don't want your thread later unravel itself. So all those adding of thread is important when you weave in a long enough piece just to be secure and be safe. Now we don't want this tail to be long to cut thread in. So this is what I do. I can actually pull on this thread slightly so that this short tail will go away. You see, even one time the thread is moving, but that's okay because right now we will start crocheting and this thread will not move anywhere anymore. Now very important part here before I will go and crochet with padding cord. This is quite challenging for some people to make this motif symmetrical and have the edges of this motif the same on both sides. But padding cord, when you add padding cord, will help you. If this happened that one of your side right now, we don't have padding cord on the sides. If one of the side is longer than the other, if for example this is longer than this one, the adding and crocheting over the padding cord will help you to make one side shorter. So when you will crochet over that side, over the padding cord, you can pull on the padding cord to make sure that this side and the other side the same length. And also pay attention to the scallops right here. In the book, they told us to crochet over the scallops over the padding cord 11 single crochet stitches. If you crochet loose, I will go and make less than 11. Um, how much less I cannot tell you. It all depends on your tension. For some of you will be enough only 9 stitches to crochet. For some of you probably 1 stitch will be a big deal, so probably make 10 single crochet stitches there. This is something you have to try and see. If you crochet too tight, you fine, you don't need to add any stitches, but make sure that it's not too wavy. Also, if it's too wavy, you still can fix it when you will block your stitch. Of course, some of you will probably wash your stitches before you will connect them with netting. So it's all up to you. But what I do with all my stitches when I finish them, I block them right away when they dry. I don't clean them and wash them and cook them as it was done long ago. I just pin them to my blocking pad and steam them. And then I remove pins and they are having their shape or the shape that I want them to have. So, how to fix the sides if they are a little bit different? Don't worry, we will add padding cord and I will show you how to fix that. So we added our working thread. I still have few pieces right here and this one, and as I will crochet with the padding cord, I will crochet with those short pieces of thread. So let's start. So find the first stitch that you made when we were making first row. Insert your hook there. Also add padding cord. And this time we don't have to fold it. And how to deal with that end later, I will show what I did. And right now, crochet your first stitch. Secure everything. And what we will do next, where the netted part, right here, it says in the book, crochet 1 single crochet stitch into each stitch there. For me, it wasn't enough. For me, it was not just not enough. 1 stitch wasn't enough to cover this. It was, if you will make 1 single crochet stitch, just a second, let me grab something to point. If you will crochet 1 single crochet here, here, and here, the work will kind of jam all this area. It will become shorter, and you will see through the stitches of that edge. So what I did, I crocheted 2 single crochet stitches in every open area and only 1 single crochet stitch or 2 if you can fit where the padding cord is. So I saw something came up. Somebody wrote something. Let me quickly see. Kelly, you are nice to me. Too nice to me. I made a mistake. I misled you today. And I hope nobody cut thread like I did. So, okay, ladies, we added padding cord. We weaved in our working thread into the round circle. And now we crochet. Try both ways, the way it's in the book and the way I do this. I will make 2 single crochet stitches into this first opening. I will move my hands up that you could see. So over the padding cord on the sides, I will crochet 2 single crochet stitches here. Then right here is some opening, right? There was turning chain somewhere here. Look like I can make only 1 stitch, but I can make actually 2 stitches here. And continue. Again, another area opening, I will make 2 stitches there. And of course make sure that that padding cord is not showing anywhere between stitches on the back. So make sure it's nice straight line. And if it's helpful, you can actually put a ruler and measure a piece of paper to make sure that that edge is perfectly straight. So now we have to make 2 single crochet stitches or 1 single crochet stitches, we will try at least, into the edge where the padding cord was. Remember I told you be careful with that padding cord that we hid. It was hidden. We have that little loop when we started. I created a turning loop and I pushed it inside slightly, but I can use that padding cord as a stitch. Or you can use sides of stitches. This is our first row of the padding cord, so stitch here on the side and another stitch, here's that stitch, and another stitch on the side, because we have 2 rows of padding cord, right? So let's do that. So first stitch, just insert hook in that into that stitch there. Try not to stretch anything, allow your hook just find the way, and over the padding cord like that, and into the next stitch. Also try to find that, or you can insert like I right now actually inserting my hook into the padding cord that was hiding there when I turned. That was easier for me, at least. Again, if it's not easy for you to create straight edge right now, you can do it when you will block your motif. So it's also not a very big deal. Again, we have the netted part and we have here area we can crochet with the padding cord, this one, or you can go and crochet and find the stitch right there and crochet with the padding cord. Right here I probably could fit 3 single crochet stitches just to make sure that that edge is nice and straight. So here it's just up to you, not really fun. I did not follow the book here to the dot, like to be too precise. So I'll make 1 single crochet stitch here. Actually look like I need more than 1. If I can get 1 more stitch here somewhere, that will be perfect. So allow your hook to find. So I made actually 2 stitches here. I saw them and I just insert my stitch twice. Now here into this bigger hole I can make, let's see if I can make 2 or 3 stitches. So too much, also too much, not too good. Yeah, actually I will go and do just 2. And then here again I have the row of that I made over the padding cord. So I can make stitches, but let me see something here. I can hide those stitches right now, so not the stitches, this thread. So what I will do at the same time, I will take this thread, my mistake. You will not have it if you didn't make mistake like I did, but if you followed me and did it, so this is what you do. I will hide this thread, short tails, like that, and I will crochet over them together with padding cord. Okay, so let's see how I will go into what stitch. So I established already, I have my thread that I cut, and if you have that problem and you followed me, this is what you'll have to do. Hide it together with padding cord. Now let's talk about the stitches here. So we have 1 row and a 2nd row over the padding cord. Stitches are quite tight in here. So allow your stitch to find your hook to find place to crochet. So it's easy for me. I found a stitch, and right there over the padding cord and over those short tails, I will make my stitch. Then I see my folded padding cord when I was turning. So I will go there and crochet another single crochet stitch. And let me stop. And I see that my work is not really neat right here. So all I need to do, pull on a padding cord and then go and fix it a little bit more. Give a stretch to my stitches or pull on a padding cord a little bit more. So it's all up to me. Here I can actually stretch the way I need it to make my stitches and my edges look the way I want them to. So let's continue. Again, I found stitch right here where the padding cord was, the stitch where the row was the padding cord, so I will make stitch there over the padding cord. And now I am at the part where the netting was. So again, I will insert my hook as many times as I need, as many times as it is allow me to go in and create neat row over the padding cord and pick up all the stitches I need to pick up here. So this netting has sides, right? So into those sides go and make stitches. If you need one only stitch, then just make only one stitch. If two stitches can be you can fit there, then make two stitches. So I think I will make one more stitch here. Let's see. So it does look nice and neat. Now, since, remember, I was hiding my thread, the one that was mistaken thread, so I crocheted over this also. It's all now hidden and I don't have to worry about it. I can just rid of this thread. I just cut it off and my mistake is gone. So this side is finished. Nice and straight. Oh my gosh. Sorry. That was advertisement. So I cut them off like my thread. Okay, so this right here is a end of the padding cord that I will deal at the very end. So it's okay to have that piece. If you will crochet over the padding cord, double padding cord, you will have a loop there and you will just like normally you add padding cord and crochet, you don't have to worry about that piece. But since I'm following the book, I will show you how to hide that piece later. Now, one side is done. This time we will make over the padding cord loops or arches, and we will connect them to the arches below of the last row, and we will skip one and we will go and connect with a single crochet stitch over the padding cord. We'll connect those scallops. You can call them scallops, arches, loops, really doesn't matter. Okay, let's make scallops, arches, loops. To make those scallops, let's call it scallops, it's beautiful. Over the padding cord only, 11 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let me say something before I go further. So you start those scallops on top only when you fix this the side. If your side look neat, straight, everything look perfect on the front and on the back of your work, this is only when you can start and crochet scallops, because when you will make those, you cannot fix anything here anymore. So first take care of this side, make sure it looks nice and neat, your padding cord is not shown anywhere, and then you can go and crochet your scallops. So we have 5, we need 11, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Now what I do, I will pull on a padding cord, my stitches, pull on them to create kind of, you see, archy shape, like an arch. That will be easier to do right now before you connect. Then skip one loop right here on the row below and connect to the next loop with single crochet stitch, also over the padding cord. Make sure the stitch is tight, the stitch you connect with. Here it is. And I will just slightly pull on it one more time. Now this probably, it's always happening to me. When I crochet all those scallops, they always give me that wave. They misbehave. Don't worry about that, because you can pin this or block this motif later. Steam it and it will take the right shape. So first scallop is done. Next, again, only over the padding cord, crochet 11 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Again, I hold my stitches and pull on a cord slightly to create the arch or scallop, like this, and connect it to the row below. Again, skip one loop into the next, also over the padding cord. Very nice and tight single crochet stitch. Why I'm saying tight? Because if you need to pull on the padding cord of this arch or scallop, you don't want the padding cord move in this area and stitches disfigure as you fix the last one. This is why I say mention to you and stretch my stress my attention to the stitches, those connecting stitches. They always need to be tight. So looking good so far. I will also pull a little bit on the padding cord. This look nice. Let's continue. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 scallops like that. And again, one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And again, holding my stitches, pulling on the cord slightly, and connect. Skip one arch or loop, whatever you call that, and tight single crochet stitches over the padding cord. And continue this way to the end. You need 7 scallops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And as always, first thing we do, pull on a cord to create archy looking, let's say arch. Okay, now skip one loop at the bottom, at the netted part of the motif. Here it is, and we go into the next, again over the padding cord, single crochet stitch. And now we also get into the end where we will have another thread. We can crochet over this thread with the padding cord together. So that will be another piece to not worry at the very end. So if you noticed in Irish crochet lace, sometimes you have to cut thread often. So instead of weaving in every end, I always look for the opportunity to crochet over that short tail somehow, so that I will end up having less ends to work with. This is especially good when you crochet with different colors. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Make sure your stitch is tight and uniform. And again, skip loop at the bottom row, connect to the next loop with tight single crochet stitch over the padding cord. And you see it's wavy already for me. Don't worry about this, you probably will have the same thing. So don't panic, just we will fix it as we will block the motif and fix all those problems. It's not really a problem, but it's sometimes when you're beginner and you start crocheting, those kind of things feel like, oh my gosh, what did I do wrong? Why it's looking so bad? Never panic. Always, everything can be fixed. Also, there's so much right now. If you follow modern designers, they use so much 3D motifs. So don't worry about this. Create something 3D. So I have 5 stitches, 6 more, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, and 11. And so we will have one more to make. Before I will make it, I will adjust my padding cord here for this last scallop. Make sure everything looks fine. And of course, you know, we will block that motif. We will help that motif not to be that wavy, will not have that ruffle effect. Also, when you will make something, whatever it is, whatever project, you will connect your motif with padding cord, so, not with padding cord, I'm sorry, with background netting, and background netting will hold all those imperfections in space and it will not be wavy anymore. Again, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And again, pull a little bit on a cord and let's connect to the last loop of the previous row, again with single crochet stitch. And here we can actually make another stitch for the side, but let's just do that later. So we have that little wavy experience here, right? All of you probably have the same. So don't worry about this. We will fix it at the very end. As soon as everything fit in, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 scallops. Now we can continue with the other side. I can already see that my side here is slightly longer than this one. And it's okay because I can always fix it. And so let's crochet that side. And since I have the short tail of our working thread, you always will have it if you did not cut thread like I did at the end. So you will have this thread here. So now I will crochet over this thread together with padding cord. And again the same thing, single crochet stitches on the sides. Here I can make 2 single crochet stitches, but into that loop, but I will go into the next and see how many stitches I can fit there. 1, 2, probably 3. Yeah, I will put 3 stitches there. 3 stitches, and then another stitch will go into the next gap right here, just before where I have stitches over the padding cord. So I will go and make 1 stitch there. I can fit only 1. And before I go any further, I will fix this little imperfect area because my padding cord is, you can see it over there. So I will pull on a padding cord slightly making sure that I will not disfigure anything too much. It looks neat. At the same time, I don't want to make this smaller, so watch for this piece here. And let's continue crochet. So now I'm at the area where I had padding cord, so I can skip going into this stitch here because it's quite tight here. Or can I? No, I will go where in between two stitches. I have padding cord here, that little loop when I turned with the padding cord. So I will go and make stitch there. And the next stitch will be right into that first row. There's a stitch on the side. I will go and make stitch there. And I don't like it because what I did, I stretched something here and it's not looking nice. So then I have to pick up probably 2 strands of thread there. That way it will not be stretched. Like this. Like this. Now, right here I have netted areas, so I will fit stitches here, some here and here. Let's see how this will look for me. 1 stitch. I can probably go just with 1. 2, and here probably will be 2 stitches there. I can very easily go and make 2 stitches. And I will stop and adjust. Pull a little bit on the cord and see what's going on. It's already the same size, so I don't even have to worry anymore about this. And it looks neat on the side here. This is also important. Now I crocheted long enough over the short tail of that working thread. I will just cut it off. I don't want it. It's not easy to crochet when you have so many ends. And my thread twisting. So let's continue. And again, I will find stitch on the side and connect to that stitch. Over the padding cord, single crochet stitch. I also will go between stitches, between rows, between those with padding cord. It's really easy to connect there. And then I probably will just go right the way to netting, no? Actually, there is a nice place for me to go. So you have to look for your, specifically for your stitches, because probably you were too tight or too loose. If you were too loose, it will be probably easy to find stitches, but when you're too tight, it's kind of, you have to be careful where you go, where you crochet, and find those little loops or turning chains when we were making netting part of motif. So let's continue. So I made here was kind of, I think it's where the chain of 5 stitches was. And I can make something here. So I am at the very end. I only will fix one thing. I pick up stitch, 1 strand of stitch. And I prefer to pick up two loops or 2 strands of thread of stitches, because if you pick up 1, sometimes they stretch too much. So before I will crochet those loops, before all that, make sure that this side exactly the same size as here. So we have a good opportunity to just lay our motif on the table to see if everything look right. If this is the same. It looks like everything is looking nice and neat, so I can continue. So now to crochet scallops on the sides, on this, well, it's not the side, on the other part of our center kind of, it will be scallops. I cannot call it petals because it's not a flower. So scallops on the top, and now we will crochet scallops on the center part of our motif. The same thing we will do as for those scallops. We will crochet 11 single crochet stitches over the padding cord only. Then we will skip 3 stitches on the round part, 3 stitches here, and connect with single crochet stitch with single crochet stitch over the padding cord. Again, 11 single crochet stitches only over the padding cord, skip 3 stitches, and into the 4th single crochet over the padding cord. And here at the very end, this is when we will pick up that one end and crochet over the both, this one and this end. That way we don't have to worry what to do with this piece. Okay, you actually can cut it off here, but I don't recommend it. So before I will start, I would make a slip stitch between the last stitch and the circle, so that I will not have distinct gap between the side stitches here with the padding cord and those loops here, the scallops. So now after that we crochet 11 single crochet stitches only over the padding cord. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And this is why I don't like Lizbeth thread, because of this nonsense. Because of this constant twisting of thread. Okay, now the same thing we will do here. I will hold my stitches and pull on a padding cord to create that scallop. Then skip 3 stitches on the circle. 1, 2, and 3, and into the 4th stitch, connect your scallop with single crochet stitch over the padding cord. Right now it's kind of everything not comfortable to make that stitch, but you have to be more stubborn than your thread. So here we can also pull on the padding cord slightly to make that scallop slightly smaller and not so stubbornly wavy and who knows what. So just pull on it and you can see how it's changing in size. Make it a little bit more attractive looking. Again, crochet over the padding cord only 11 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And again, holding your stitches, pull on a padding cord. And skip 3 stitches on the round part on that circle. 1, 2, 3. Okay, skipped it. 1, 2, 3 into the 4th stitch. Into the 4th stitch, connect your scallop over the padding cord with single crochet stitch. Make sure it's tight stitch. And again, this misbehaving stitches, when they kind of look weird, always pull on the cord a little bit, and then we will fix it with steam and with blocking. And now we will make the last scallop. We will crochet over this padding cord and this both together. So this is how I do this. I will try to show slowly so that you can follow my steps. So here's this padding cord on the front and that one on the back. I will crochet my first stitch over both of them. See, I grabbed this padding cord and this one together and crochet 11 stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And here with 11th stitch, with the last stitch, you can right away pull on the cords in such a way that both of them, especially the short one, is in place. Make sure that all 3 of them the same size, okay? Don't pull too much. And we still need one more stitch, so first fix the right size, and that last stitch you can always fit in that gap right here. I actually will cut this off right away, like that. I will also cut my last thread, the thread that I'm crocheting with, because it's twisting for me and I cannot work very well with that. Okay, so the last stitch, let's make the last stitch. You can even fold your motif if it's needed, if it's easier. And so this is what it is. Last stitch. And now we need one more stitch, slip stitch. We need to go and make that slip stitch. I like to go on the back, not too far, somewhere next to, and find a stitch on the centerpiece where the circle, I call it circle, and make slip stitch over there. My slip stitch, now pull on a thread. It's all done. And since we crocheted over both padding cords, we can cut this padding cord also. But I would really recommend to sew this padding cord slightly, a little bit over the centerpiece or to those stitches on the back, so that it will not, just to secure, just to make sure that this piece will not unravel and will not disfigure itself. So let's just do that. I will show you how I do this, and you of course choose for yourself how you like to do this kind of stuff. I am really particular about finishing the work with padding cord, how I finish, how I do this with a padding cord, because I really like it. Make sure, first of all, that it's safe from being from unraveling my work. So padding cord I can already cut a little bit here, and this part I will sew over with my working thread to the stitches behind. And I'm talking about the stitches right here, where next to the center part, where you can insert your needle basically without any problems. Well, we have some people came in. Здравствуйте, Надежда. Hello, Lynn. Oh, you were already here. I'm sorry. Yes, you were here. Thank you. Thank you very much to you too. Oh yeah, you can watch that video later, Marcia. This video is not going away anyway. It will be here. So very, very slowly, somewhere like 5-7 millimeters of the padding cord you should sew over. I would probably better weave it in with a needle, but my padding cord is three in number. It's kind of thick, so I will not be able to weave in my really tight crochet motif, and I don't want to disfigure any stitches. It will be quite difficult. If I would have a padding cord number 10, it will be a different story. It will be way easier. So somewhere like 5-7 millimeters. I already have a good piece I weaved in. Not weaved in, but sewed over right here. You can see it, right? Here, I sewed a little bit over the padding cord on the back, so I'm sure it will not come out anywhere. And now I can just take the padding cord only and cut off padding cord only, that excess that we don't need, and working thread, of course, weave in. And the easiest place to weave it in, find in the round part. And since I was weaving in too much already, my thread is not a needle, don't want to move. So help yourself with little pliers. And weave in your last thread. So you see, I end up having one only thread. When by the book, if you'll crochet, you'll have two of them. So the other one, the first time when we cut thread, we're hiding it into the side with padding cord together. This is how it works. So now I weaved in the working thread also, and I can just simply cut it off. all my thread is saved. Now I will show you quickly how to fix this wave. I don't have with me my iron. I could just steam it and show you, but I don't think it's very important. Let me grab a... So I have a small padding board here. And so what you can do, this is what I do. I do not wash my motifs. It's just a waste of time for me, I think. Probably I'm wrong, but I never had any problems with that, and that works really perfectly for me. So get your motif and first of all, pin the major important parts of the padding cord areas. And I would say it's edges. If you want, you see that your edge is still kind of wavy, so you can always fix it with your needle. You see? Just, I'm sorry, not the needle, pin. Like this, to make sure that all of this is nice and the shape of the edge is straight line. See? And continue this way. Go on another side also. And make sure it is straight line in here also, that it's nice and beautiful. So when it's all fixed, now you can go and fix this area. And to fix this, it's also not too difficult. I start with the middle part. It's always better that way. And then on the sides, stretch a little bit like this and pin. And then go to this side and pin. After that, we can work and deal with other scallops, like that. Of course, you don't want them to stretch too much, so like this. And then fix the scallops where the flower is, if they need to be fixed. My kind of bulgy in here, so I will pin this area so it will not stick out so much. And also like that. So my motif is blocked. It's dry, it's not wet. You can spray it with water slightly. You can wash it if you want. In older times, 100 years ago, women cooked them in the water. I don't know the process. I will not recommend it because I don't know about it. You can find about this process in Myra Trenner book. She has a very good book on clones lace, and she's talking about it. And she is, as I remember, she really in detail described the process. But this is how I do this. It does not hurt anything. It's faster, it's easier for me at least, and saving a lot of time. So just spin it if you want to spray a little bit and steam it. When I steam, I bring my iron just on a distance very close to motif, but not touching. I never iron my motifs. Never, never press them. I pin them, block them with pins, steam it. That's it. I really like the natural wave and natural feel of my motifs without making them flat. Honestly, I don't like even the look and feel of the cotton when you iron it, because iron have tendency to kind of have that shine that is coming from the iron, not natural shine. So I really never do that. Just slightly only to the distance of, so here it is, the board, and iron right here. Steam it, and steam will penetrate the thread and everything will look perfect. So this is how I deal with those wavy ruffle effect. I call it ruffle effect when it's wave like that. So this is it. This is it for today. Our next lesson again, Thursday, 12 o'clock next week. And we will crochet more motifs. We have still quite a bit of motifs to finish with this book. And do you have questions for me, ladies? I'm looking for if there anyone asked anything. So far nobody asked anything during my lesson, which is actually helpful. You know, when I crochet, better not interrupt me because I can forget what I was saying. It's very easy to lose your stitches and things. Well, thank you too. You're very welcome, everyone. So it seems to me no questions coming, and I will later, when video will be saved, I will post and in description under the video all these written instructions from this book, all the pattern that is here, I will write for you step by step. So everything I wrote for me, I will just copy for you so that you will have it in more modern way, the way we, in our modern times, write patterns. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you for joining me. Please like my videos, share them with your friends in your groups if you have your own Facebook group, if not in a different group, if it's allowed there. And those likes that you put will actually help a lot for others to see the videos. Visit also my website, irishcrochetlab.com. Check out my other lessons. Check out also my crochet patterns for some modern motifs and lessons. That's it for today. Thank you very much for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of the week. Stay safe and see you next time. Goodbye.